In yet another fiery episode of Real Time with Bill Maher, the outspoken comedian and political commentator took aim at critics on the left for their harsh treatment of Cheryl Hines, the wife of presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Maher, known for his sharp wit and willingness to call out both sides of the political aisle, didn't hold back as he lambasted what he described as unfair and unnecessary attacks on Hines. The controversy surrounding Hines stems from her marriage to RFK Jr., whose political campaign and controversial views on vaccines have made him a polarizing figure. While RFK Jr. has drawn sharp criticism from many Democrats, Hines, an accomplished actress best known for her role on Curb Your Enthusiasm, has found herself caught in the crossfire, with some on the left questioning her character and publicly criticizing her for standing by her husband. Maher, never one to shy away from contentious topics, took a stand against what he saw as hypocrisy and mean-spirited behavior. The left turns on Cheryl Hines. Since RFK Jr. announced his bid for the presidency, Hines has faced backlash, not for her own actions, but simply for her association with her husband. Critics have accused her of enabling RFK Jr.'s controversial positions, including his vocal opposition to vaccines and his alignment with certain right-leaning figures. Social media has been ablaze with harsh commentary, with some even suggesting that Hines should publicly distance herself from RFK Jr. to prove her loyalty to progressive ideals. Why is Cheryl Hines being dragged into this? Maher asked his audience. She's not the one running for president. She's not out there making speeches or writing books on vaccines. She's an actress, a wife, and, as far as I can tell, a pretty decent person. But somehow, because she's married to RFK Jr., she's now public enemy number one for some people on the left. That's insane. Maher's defense of Cheryl Hines. Maher dedicated a segment of his show to dismantling the arguments against Hines, pointing out that personal attacks on spouses have no place in political discourse. He argued that it was unfair to hold Hines accountable for her husband's views and emphasized the importance of separating individuals from their partner's beliefs. This is the same crowd that preaches tolerance, understanding, and not judging people by their associations, Maher said. But when it comes to Cheryl Hines, all of that goes out the window. Suddenly, she's guilty by marriage. Is that the new standard we're going with? Because if it is, it's ridiculous. Maher also highlighted the absurdity of expecting Hines to publicly disavow her husband, likening the demand to a loyalty test. People are saying, why doesn't she speak out against RFK Jr.? What? So we're now expecting spouses to air their dirty laundry in public to satisfy the Twitter mob.
Give me a break.
It's a marriage, not a press conference. A broader critique of cancel culture. The segment quickly evolved into a broader critique of cancel culture, with Maher using Hines as an example of how far the left has strayed from its values. He argued that the relentless criticism of Hines was emblematic of a larger problem, the tendency to attack people for their associations rather than their actions. This is what cancel culture looks like, Maher declared. It's not about holding people accountable for what they've done. It's about punishing them for who they're connected to. And it's toxic. Cheryl Hines didn't do anything wrong, but because she's married to someone controversial, she's now a target. How does that make sense? Maher went on to challenge his audience to think critically about the double standards at play. If we're going to start judging people by their spouses, where does it end? Are we going to cancel every Democrat whose spouse has ever said or done something problematic? Or does this only apply to people we already don't like? The public reacts. As clips from Maher's segment circulated online, reactions poured in from all sides. Supporters of Maher praised him for standing up against what they saw as unfair treatment of Hines. Bill Maher is spot on, one Twitter user wrote. Cheryl Hines deserves better than this nonsense. She's not responsible for her husband's opinions. Others, however, felt Maher was downplaying the importance of Hines's role in RFK Jr.'s public image. If Cheryl Hines is standing by RFK Jr., that says something about her values, another commenter argued. She doesn't get a free pass just because she's not the one running for office. The debate also reignited conversations about the role of spouses in political campaigns. While some argued that spouses should be off-limits, others contended that they are inevitably part of the public discourse when they choose to support a candidate. Maher's call for civility. In his closing remarks, Maher called for a return to civility and a focus on substantive issues rather than personal attacks. "We have real problems in this country," he said. "Climate change, income inequality, healthcare, you name it. And yet, here we are, wasting time tearing down an actress because she happens to be married to someone controversial. Is this really the best we can do?" He urged viewers to consider the bigger picture and to resist the urge to vilify people for their associations. "We can disagree with RFK Jr. all we want, that's fair game. But Cheryl Hines isn't running for office. She's not out there making policy. Let's keep our focus where it belongs, on the actual issues and the people who are responsible for them." Conclusion. Bill Maher's defense of Cheryl Hines is a timely reminder of the importance of fairness and civility in political discourse. While RFK Jr.'s campaign and controversial views will undoubtedly continue to spark debate, Maher's argument underscores the need to separate individuals from their partners and to avoid personal attacks that detract from meaningful discussions. In a political climate rife with division and outrage, Maher's plea for reason and perspective serves as a refreshing call to focus on what truly matters. Whether or not his words will resonate with his critics remains to be seen, but one thing is clear: Cheryl Hines is unlikely to be the last spouse caught in the crossfire of America's increasingly polarized political landscape.